Well. Hello, fellow modelers and styling fanatics. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Bunker is back again today with another one of its notorious episodes. So, in today's episode, guys, me and Past George are finally fixing our small mistake, minor setback, name it as you wish. So, Past George today worked onto our Flak 88, which is none other than the Flak 36 cut slash 37 from Tamiya in 1/35 scale in kit number 35017. What Past George did? Well, he helped me to through the weathering process to improve the looks of the winter camo on the Flak 88. We did reach the desired effects, and I have to say that I am really happy that I pressed forward with this build and that the weathering stage was successful. Now I don't wanna bore you guys any longer. I know that you need to see the meat and potatoes of this build, so you guys know the drill. Grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, crack the mandatory cold one or a hot brew, and let's see what me and Past George have in stock for this episode. Well guys, it is time for part 6 of the Deadly 88, aka the Big Boomstick. That's how I name it today. And what are we going to do? First of all, we're gonna cut our losses. And when I say we're gonna cut our losses, I mean today is another day. I haven't touched this project at all for at least 2 days, so I came back at it with fresh eyes. Now, what's my intention? My intention is to dedicate this video into the weathering and completion of the Flak. What I mean completion until the step it will be added onto the diorama. The final steps will be done when this thing is at its respected place at the diorama. So right now I am aiming to complete it at 99%, up to 99%. So we need to start from somewhere, and that somewhere is decals. Okay, before we start weathering, we're gonna start from the decal application. Now let me grab the instructions. Damn bro, everything is falling apart on my bench. So let's zoom out a bit. I think that, come on, we are okay. I think that, yep. So apart from this part, which is for the figures, which figures I am not gonna work on today, there is a whole page dedicated to decal application for the 88. So here it is. It explains you the kill mark of the 88. This one is mainly used in Flak 37, aka the anti-air gun, so we're not gonna use the kill mark. This one says it is mark of shooting position. Currently I have no idea what this is. It does not state it anywhere. It is not stated anywhere here, so I'm not gonna take the risk to add it to my to my build. Maybe C or D. Nope. The cut over here, which is a symbol mark, and over here it says a symbol mark of some battery. It is up to you whether to put this mark on your model. Well, everything is up to me, but it's okay. The shape of this mark is a cat, but it is not clear what meaning this mark had. I would love to add a cat, this mark in specific, but I won't do it, and I will explain you why. And then we have the divisional marks. So we have divisional marks for Eastern Front, the Italian Front, Normandy, and North Africa. Since we have made a winter wash camo, quote unquote, a winter wash camo, we instantly erase the Italian Front, we erase Normandy, and of course North Africa, and we're gonna move on to the Eastern Front, which narrows our options. We have markings for the 4th Tank Division, 5th Tank Division, 3rd Tank Division, the 24th Tank Division, and the, sorry for the pronunciation, Gross Deutschland Tank Grenadier Division. I think that this is written as Gross, which means big. Well, any German friends out there can help me, or they probably can correct me if I am wrong. So that's our options. All this stuff is our option. I would like to go with the skull and the crossbones, the skull, over here. It is a cool mark, but I cannot do that as well. And you may ask why. I am going to explain you right now. So let's leave this aside and let's grab the decal sheet. Boom, guys. As you can see, most of the markings, as expected, are in white color, which means that we won't be able to spot them in this with this winter wash camo. So this narrows my options even more. So my options are either the X, this one, the X, which is the 5th Tank Division, the 24th Tank Division, which is a guy riding a horse, and this weird mark, which is the 4th Tank Division. Now I have to choose between these three in order for my decals to be visible in my failed, quote unquote failed, white wash camo. So between those three, I'm gonna choose the 24th Tank Division, mainly because I don't know, I like this divisional mark. Out of those three, I'm gonna choose this one. So that's our only decals that we are gonna apply. One of them is going to be applied exactly over here, and the other one on the other bogie on the opposite side, exactly over here. So we are going to apply our decals. And what's the next step? Next step is to start with the weathering instantly, which means that I am going to start chipping this either with the sponge chipping technique, or I am going to add chips with a paintbrush. Of course, and I won't record any of that on camera because I don't want to bore you guys. This is gonna be a trial and error part of the build. This is gonna take me some time. I'm gonna put a good video on YouTube, and I'm gonna start working on it. So next time you're gonna see this, this is probably going to be chipped with the base color, Panzer Dark Gray, and I am going also to attach the decals of our choice. Well guys, chipping is done, and I have to say that I am really happy with the outcome of the chipping. It added quite a lot to the faded appearance I was after. Well, I didn't go overboard, but still it added a lot. The only thing that I have chipped is the base and the gun. I haven't done any chipping at all of any kind at the bogies. I don't want them to be furthermore chipped, to be honest with you, and they are not my main protagonists, so I don't want them to steal your eyes from our main piece, which is none other than the Flak. Now, let's start from the beginning to tell you exactly what I have done off camera. So, let's start from the easy parts first. Here is the divisional marks of the 24th Tank Division, one on this side and one on the other bogie on the exact opposite side. So that's my job done on the bogies, so I will leave them aside. Now let's move on to the Flak itself. Now onto the Flak, what I have done. I have taken a piece of sponge, mounted it on a reverse clip tweezers, which is none other than these ones. You press it and it opens, you leave it closed, and you leave it and it keeps itself closed. I think that these are called reverse action tweezers. Pretty handy tool. I have several of them laying around on my bench. So I have attached a piece of sponge and I have started, chipping with the base color. Removed the majority of the sponge on a paper towel, left a little bit onto it, and I have started the chipping. Now, when you do sponge chipping, be careful to change the angle. If you go like this, change the angle as you go like this, and then like this, keep in mind that you have to change the angle in order in order not your chips to look uniform. Also keep in mind that the sponge chipping technique may create big chips, so keep a cotton swab with water nearby so you can erase if you do a mistake. Apart that, I have also chipped. I have also used paint brushes to add some more chipping here and there, and that's it. Now let me give you a closer look on how things are looking. Let's remove the gun of its base, and here is how the base is looking. I didn't go overboard. I mainly aimed for the hard edges and places where the crew operates most, like this thing over here, edges, as I've said, etc. Oh, looks like I have missed a spot, which is this one, this handle over here. I'm gonna take care of it later, that's okay. And let me give you a closer look of the gun. So that's how the gun is looking. Once again, I have aimed for the edges all around, almost no chips on the main, you know, the central piece of the shield. I have also aimed for these things, you know, these surfaces where the crew can rest, or it can, you know, touch it, hold onto it for whatever reason. Not just a little bit, a tiny bit over here at the bridge area, where the action, of course, would be, you know, where action takes place a lot, and at this side. Now I have, as you can see, I have also detail painted some stuff here, one of the seats which is over here, etc, etc. More stuff that you won't be able to see, like these ones, and the list goes on. Now, what's my next course of action? My next course of action will be to add a wash, and here is a catch. If for any reason or anything, if for any reason in your life you use rattle cans in your models, keep in mind that enamels and enamel washes is a no-go after the rattle can application. Enamel tends to have a bad rattle can paint tends to have a bad reaction if you add enamel washes on top of it. What I mean by what I wanna say by bad reaction, I wanna say that it tends to lift the paint, the rattle can paint. The paint gets mixed with the enamel, and all this turns into a pile of mud, of paint mud or paint booger, you know. Let's call it mud. So in this case I cannot use enamel washes at all. I also cannot use oil paints, because I think oil paints with odorless white spirits, which is also a no-go for a rattle can painted article. And I know that you guys have a very logical question: what the F I am going to do? What the fudge I am going to do? I'm gonna proceed with an all acrylic weathering. You know, I wanna make a wash. I will make a wash using acrylics, which means over here at the Old Faithful, and for my old viewers out there, I have a new palette, but I won't use it until the old Faithful totally disintegrates. So as I was saying, over here at the Old Faithful, here in particular, I have an acrylic wash that I have just made. This acrylic wash is none other than 2 or 3 drops of Vallejo acrylics, specifically Vallejo Black 71057, and tap water, nothing else. I have diluted it into a wash consistency. Now what I'm gonna do with that medicinal menagerie that you see in front of you, I'm gonna grab a paintbrush and I am gonna dip it over here and start picking, you know, places that I want to say it, you know. I want the wash to exist. Places that I would use enamel washes or oil paint washes to accentuate the detail. Well, I don't know how much you will be able to see of my wash, but anyway, I'm gonna give you a look as best as I can. So let's start from the gun, the main gun. Here is how it looks after the wash. I gave it a good 2 or 3 coats of my homemade quote unquote acrylic wash, and the result is kind of faint in some spots, but in some other spots it is quite good enough, and you can see the details are a little bit more, you know, pronounced. One thing that I forgot to mention is, when you make an acrylic wash like I did, it is something like a filter, so you may need to build it up, you know, to apply it on a specific point 2 or 3 times to give it the depth that you wish. And another thing is that you have to be careful of tide marks, because since we use diluted acrylic paint with water, this may leave some tide marks. How you take care of those tide marks is, whenever the wash is dry, you just grab a sandpaper, but with not a coarse grit, you know, something like 1,500, you know, which the grit is not so coarse, and you just give it a faint sanding, so you can remove the tide marks only and not the paint. Now, apart the wash on the gun, I have checked some photos on Google for inspiration, just to see what other guys do to weather their Flaks, and I have seen several stuff. I have seen stuff that I expected: rust streaks, chipping, and dust. Rust streaks is not an option for me, because hey, this is not a gun that it is stationed there for centuries or for decades. It is a gun that it is stationed there for a month or 2, and then it moves onwards. So no rust for me, no rust streaks for me. This is not so realistic. So I don't want it on my case. Now, if you like it, you knock yourselves out. Do as many rust streaks as you wish. Since I have done the chipping, I have gave it a dark wash. The only thing left for me is to dust it. So I opted to dust the bogies first, because this is part of the travel mechanism of our gun, and here is how they look. This is the rear one, and this here is the front one. I haven't dusted the majority of it. I have just accumulated the mud and dust over here at the fenders, where, you know, while the gun is traveling, there is the place that dust and mud and etc. will accumulate. Now, how did I achieve this effect? I will show you exactly right now. I am going to give this to give the shield this same effect as I gave the bogies. So let's move the bogies aside and let's get ready. Now I am going to need only the shield because the legs are gonna be muddy and dusty only when I will attach them to the diorama base, so I'm gonna leave this aside as well. So what we need in order to create the same dust effect as we need a pot of some kind. I am using a plastic bottle cap because I have an abundance of them around. In my case, I have used dry mud from MIG. This is pigments that I have laying around from a friend that he gave it to me. He gave up the hobby. He gave up the hobby. He gave up making tanks. He now makes cars and aircrafts, so he has no more use of it. That's the only pigment I have. That's the only pigment I use for the time being. And we need water and a brush. So inside here, what do I have? I have pigment diluted in water. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. I am going to mix it. Let me see this one. I have a paper towel over here between my hands in case that I will need to rub my paintbrush. And as you can see, I am using one of my sacrificial paint brushes, and then we start. So I have loaded my brush and I am going to start the application over here from the lower part. Now bear with me, I know that this looks totally unrealistic for the time being, but we are going to work our way around it in seconds, in mere seconds. Now I am going to wipe the majority off in my paper towel, and I am going to start blending it, quote unquote blending it. As you can see, I do only vertical movements. Now I am going to clean my paintbrush totally, wipe the majority of water out, and I am going to start to blend it even more. As you can see, as I am reaching near the top, I leave less and less mixed pigment on my paintbrush. I am just giving it a slight hue, and as I move towards the ground, towards the bottom, I am leaving more and more pigment on. Now I am going to leave this to dry for for a couple of minutes, and when it is totally dry I am going to apply another coat another coat of pigment, and I am going to do the exact same thing until I build it up enough, and until I am happy and until I am happy with the results. And this is it, guys. This is how it looks. Well, you can't have a perfect look because my lighting at the time is not so good. I am filming at night. I am filming this part late at night, so I have only my workbench light on. Anyway, I have followed the procedure I told you about, and this is how the 88 looks. As you can see, the base, and I mean the feet, the stabilizing feet of the gun are not dusted and muddy at all. This will be done whenever I will add the gun to the dial, in order for me to unify oh my god, I cannot speak. In order to unify the anti-tank boomstick with the dial, and not make it like an alien part of of the whole scene. So I believe that I won't do anything more at the time being on the gun. I think that we are 99% there. So I will wrap up the video here. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this episode. On our next episode, we will probably start working on to the new crew that I have chosen for the Flak 88, and we will proceed from there. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting, and stick along for the next one. Before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you guys, especially that watched this video. A special thank you to all my subscribers, old and new ones. You guys are the best, and you are the reason I keep doing these videos. Now, for the newcomers out there that encounter one of my videos for the first time, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, it was take care and model on. It was that mofo Damon signing out.